Fool me once and it's shame on me, but you know you better tread carefully. Fool me twice, I'm your enemy. I'm your enemy. If you push, I push back. Try to hide, but I'll hunt you down like a maniac. Down, you'll go down. So if you hide, I'm gonna hunt you down. You better run, vendetta. You better, vendetta. You better run, vendetta. You better, vendetta. Kindness never looked good on me. Never been one to sit quietly. Too late now to see irony in rivalry. Push,
think you can break me down, down to my core. Imposters making me a monster. Time to bloody up my sword like the god of war. You're making me the god of war. You're making me the god of. Can you feel the earth? She's rumbling. Save me from this hell I'm living in. Embers nipping at my skin again. Oh, oh. Can you feel the earth? She's rumbling. Save me from this hell I'm living in. Embers nipping at my skin again. Hate me, go ahead and hate me. You think you can break me down, down to my core. Imposters making me a monster. Time to bloody up my sword like the god of war.
Alright, the webcam is working. I think we are all set. Happy Friday the 13th. Yesterday was more than a bit of a train wreck. There are some things that we could have spoken about better. But the point of yesterday's stream, or last night's stream rather, was not to be put together and organized and eloquent as the rest of these streams have been. The point of last night's stream was for us to hang out with our friends and watch a video that dropped because we found it entertaining. Were we quite crass in some of the jokes that we said? Absolutely. I don't think that I will be repeating those. But I also will not apologize, especially because of what happened on the other side of that stream. That is something that I will be touching on tonight. Because what has been said about us is disgusting and false. I also will not tolerate bullshit in the chat. I'm not as nice as Echo. Keep that in mind. I will be reading this disclaimer first, as always, and then we will divert slightly. Please be careful when viewing this. This contains mentions of death, suicide, doxing, fake claiming, harassment, trauma, sexual assault, slurs, sexual themes, trafficking, etc. We will be referring to this person as Patterson and using they/them pronouns to prevent claims of dead naming and misgendering. We do not know the name nor pronouns they currently go by. Small side note, while we are on the topic. Do not use she/her pronouns for our system. If you are referring to one specific alter, use their pronouns. But if you are referring to all of us and speaking to all of us, then use they/them. Any dead naming or misgendering is not intentional and not done out of malice. Any documents, messages, etc. will be reread as they are written, but any of our own commentary will use Patterson and they/them pronouns. Please do not attack, harass, or seek out anyone mentioned here. This is in no way, shape, or form meant to be a personal attack or harassment campaign. There has only been one narrative out in the public, and that has been Patterson & Co.'s. Now that we are in a much better mental space and a much safer environment, it's time to tell our side. We do not support anyone using this as a reason to go out and attack anyone, especially in our name. Do not try to dig for more information about these people, including but not limited to phone numbers, relative contact info, etc. The claims against us are abhorrent and false. We will be showing evidence wherever possible. This includes videos, screenshots, comment logs, chat logs, voicemails, audio recordings, etc. Anything redacted will be explained for full transparency. Most things shown will have no redactions. This includes videos, voices, faces, chat logs, etc. This is for full transparency. If the people involved in these did not want this to be shown, they should have shown everything to begin with, instead of spreading lies and conspiracies without proof. None of these streams are scripted beyond this beginning disclaimer. This document is for our own organization to sort evidence and stay on track. These streams are unedited. You may see us switch, dissociate, cry, become triggered, have flashbacks, etc. We will do our best to give trigger warnings where applicable, but we cannot guarantee anything. From this point on, please be responsible for and aware of your own triggers. This channel and these streams are not for children. If you are under the age of 18, please leave the page. Now, we've already gone over much of this. We will be covering the police reports today at the very least. Hello. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate your comments. I'm in a bit of a mood today, but that's okay. So, I specifically want to bring up this video, or post, or whatever you would like to call it. This is from Patterson, posted 7 hours ago. I want to remind everyone that the phone call Patterson made last night at the time that this would have been posted was just over 12 hours, give or take, between the two events. So not only are they claiming that they got a response from police within the span of around 12 hours. But they are also saying that there was a full-blown investigation within those 12 hours that was done. I don't know about any of you, but that doesn't make any sense. It does not add up. So no, there was no investigation done, especially within 12 hours. Jade, I can explain the situation that Patterson called the police for. Last night they were streaming. They were live streaming while watching our stream. And they not only fake claimed us having DID, that is fair. Thank you for that information. I'm just going to give a quick recap regardless. Not only did they fake claim us having DID, but they fake claimed us having trauma. And now they are saying that we had a good childhood. From my memory, Patterson is 2 years younger than we are. Malachite in our system has memories beginning around the age of 2. So, unless Patterson was watching from the womb, they were not there. They were not there. They do not know anything about our trauma. And I find it extremely disgusting that they would claim that we were never trafficked and that we had a good childhood. That must be it. There's no other explanation. Obviously, Patterson still apparently knows more about our own trauma than we do. I'm just going to read off this post. 7 hours ago, Patterson posted this TikTok. An officer called me. They have looked into Chroma's handlers. They are not. Chroma had a good childhood. I am not fake claiming. I am stating facts. Full-blown investigation proves no child sexual abuse material and trafficking ever happened. Additionally, Chroma has a huge history of defamation of character, to the point they said their own loving parents are literal handlers. This is not okay. Yes. 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 It is. So because of that, I will no longer, and my system will no longer, be responding to any claims of us fake claiming Patterson. On top of that, we never claimed that our parents were our handlers. We just said that they put us into that situation. We never told you any information about our handlers. From what I hear, Patterson also claims last night that we are claiming to have split 300 altars because of them in a month, which is completely untrue and entirely ridiculous. I know where you are getting the number from. That is how many we roughly have in our system. We don't even have half of them logged. That information came specifically from our gatekeepers. They are, and it is very frustrating, to put it lightly. It's frustrating because they make these claims and they show no evidence. They cite no sources. And everyone seems to believe them. But then, when we show evidence disproving everything, somehow that counts as harassment. As if they haven't been threatening to take us to court. As if they didn't do a live stream last night cursing at us, saying that we do not have DID and that we did not go through horrific trauma. This is not a role-playing game. This is not something where we can put on a silly VTuber avatar and scream at people. We've always said that in a perfect world, DID would not exist. Exactly. If they had any evidence to what they had been claiming, they would have shown that when making the claims. You cannot make claims such as we are literal handlers in training without providing any evidence. And that is another thing that is extremely hypocritical and entirely contradicting. We were friends with a group of people who had first informed us that we had been trafficked. We were in very heavy denial about it for a very long time. As anyone would be in that situation. But as more memories were coming up, more details were coming out, we were describing places that other people in that group recognized. And we were describing experiences that other people in that group remembered. It got to the point where we were able to perfectly describe someone's stuffed animal that they had. Down to the animal, down to the color, and down to the pattern. Coincidences happen. Not that many coincidences. Exactly, but that is another thing. We saw some of the chat and heard some of the things that Patterson said, and apparently we are not showing our trauma in the right way. We are not behaving traumatized. I think that you don't see anything that happens when the stream ends. I think that being angry, not just angry, we were talking to our therapist when we received the information that there are videos of us out there with our name attached. I would not doubt that, honestly. I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I genuinely don't know. We were still in an unsafe situation when we found out that there are those types of videos of us out there. We assumed that there were, but having titles and descriptions and having it described to us and being told that our name was attached to it, which our legal name is a very unique name. If you look it up online, you will not find anyone else with our name. So with the name matching and with the face looking identical, we found that out when we were still in an unsafe situation. And I just remember feeling nothing. I felt nothing. They are. And apparently, by calling them Patterson, we are doxing them when they have shown and said their own name in their own documents that were public. Their name is also on the public court record. I just want to ask this as a... They are. They are. They posted their own address in their own document as well. I'm going to pose a rhetorical question that I just want everyone to ponder. If the document that they had posted with their own information was not public, then how did we receive it and be able to make a copy of it? I just want to pose that question. I don't think it was directly sent to us. I think it was posted on one of their accounts. One of their public accounts, by the way. But they would post things like that and then be surprised when people looked at them. And that doesn't make much sense. But when we were first told about the videos being out there, the child sexual abuse material, everything was very numb at first. And then as we finally took steps such as starting to pack, to move, signing the lease, that quickly started turning into something that I can only describe as beyond rage. And underneath that was a lot of hurt that we could not recognize at the time because the rage was so intense. It was all we felt. We couldn't recognize any other emotion besides that. We had asked our parents, and they had implied, if not outright stated, that they would buy some things such as the new tortoise enclosures. And then they told us that they were not in a position to be able to do that financially. I remember very clearly the second I heard that, it was like I was blinded by complete rage. And when we were explaining this to our therapist, we said, I doubt this is verbatim because I can't remember exactly what we said, but we had said something along the lines of, so they've ruined our life and put us in that situation in the first place for money. And they've been living comfortably off of that money because of what they did to us. But they can't afford a couple $100 and then still have the audacity to ask us for rent money for the time that we were living there. I don't think I've ever felt such intense hatred. I remember being very angry, specifically before I fused, when I was Val. Val was a persecutor and sexual protector. Val was very angry almost constantly. But this was beyond that. We had been talking with someone else. I'm not going to get into details of how we know them or what their relation to us is, but they are a relative. And they had said that our parents were very poor for a while. They also said that our father has always had jobs where our mother did not have to work because of the income. hearing that made a lot of things start to make more sense. Because how do you go from being very poor to not needing one of them to work? It's not like our father was ever very high up in companies or some sort of CEO. Money like that does not just fall from the sky. And it does make a lot of sense, because one of the first memories that exactly, there's no way to go from being very poor to suddenly living very comfortably, where only one of them ever had to work. Especially considering that our father was never any really important person in some position of power in any job that he held. Especially considering all the medical issues, such as surgeries, that both our parents had to have throughout our entire childhood. And how that is probably very true. Ironically, our inner world does have a mansion. But one of the first memories that we sort of uncovered from being trafficked was us no older than 7 or 8, I want to say, in some sort of parking lot, surrounded by a group of men. And one of them was handing our mother cash, and she was telling them to just not kill us. And we don't remember what happened after that, or what even happened before that. We just had that small clip of that memory. This is things that we have to live with. This is things that we survived. So many children do not survive this. Children die from this. Constantly, every day. So for us to have survived is a miracle in itself. But now to speak up about that and be told that it never happened by this person who knows nothing about us. That is unforgivable. Unforgivable. And anyone who still takes their side after they did that and after we are showing all of this, after we are being transparent and showing evidence to disprove their claims, while they show black screens with some text or a few memes about us with no actual proof, anyone who takes their side after this, I don't know if it's out of willful ignorance or if it's out of malice or something else, but I do not understand, and I don't think I want to understand how you can still defend that. Especially when they went on stream last night and live on their own stream called the police, gave up what used to be our personal information, all in an attempt to do what? Scare us from speaking? Try and disprove our trauma for your own comfort? I don't care what you've been through. Nothing gives you the excuse to do something like that. To claim that this bullshit investigation was done in the span of 12 hours. When our friends have been sent that. Were the descriptions we gave in the first two streams of those videos not enough for you? Yesterday's stream last night was beyond a train wreck. We could have taken it much more seriously and probably should have. But the response to that being to fake claim us, tell us that we are lying about things that we have lived through, literally calling the police on your live stream, giving out sensitive information on your live stream. Nothing excuses that. Exactly. Especially considering Patterson even said that they do not know if that's even an address that anyone involved lives at anymore. And especially considering that all of this happened 2 decades ago. Around 20 years ago. Nobody is going to take that seriously. Nobody in law enforcement or in the court system is going to actually look into that because it happened 2 decades ago. And I don't know if you know this, which you say you were trafficked, and I'm not going to say whether you did or not because I will not be that disgusting towards you like you were to us. But since you say you were trafficked, you should know this. That police were involved, and are involved. And people in power are involved. Yes, most victims of violent crimes like this never get any justice or closure. We weren't exactly planning on doing another of these streams today. Today was very tiring. We actually went outside. And then we got sent this TikTok. So, that's what I wanted to address with that. You don't know us, you don't know our childhood, you know nothing about us. You're disgusting for saying this. And we will never forgive you for this. I don't care if you regret it later. I don't care if you try to apologize later. You are a disgusting person for this. So, the police reports. Which one was this? Okay, they're actually in order, I believe. I agree full-heartedly. We have to go on mute and make a call really quick. It's nothing involving any of what is going on stream, but it is not something that we are going to be saying on stream because it is none of anyone's business. So I'm going to switch to the Be Right Back screen. I'll play something from my playlist, and I'm hoping that it will be a quick call.
I made the devil run. I gave him poison just for fun. I had one friend, now there's none. I made the devil run. I broke so many bones, but none of them were ever my own. They were an army, I was alone. I broke so many bones. I'm bad as bad can be, so bad that it's hard to believe. Oh, what they say about me. I'm bad, take a look and see. So bad that it's hard to believe. I don't care what they say about me. I watched an empire fall. I stormed the gate and scaled the walls. They wouldn't share, so I took it all. I watched an empire fall. I'm bad as bad can be, so bad that it's hard to believe. Oh, what they say about me. I'm bad, take a look and see. So bad that it's hard to believe. I don't care what they say about me. Stop it! You better watch out, here I come. I'm bad as bad could be. 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 As bad can be, so bad that it's hard to believe. Oh, what they say about me. I'm bad. Take a look and see. So
Okay. At least the webcam did not freeze. That was quicker than I thought it would be because there was no response. Thank you. Ghostivity, I see you in the users. You might not have been here at the start. I'm not as nice as Echo. Watch your words. I will ban very quickly. I will not tolerate bullshit. So, keeping that in mind, that's me. I'm going to have to zoom in on Docs itself, I think. It has 150. Is that somewhat viewable for the most part? Perfect. I will scroll up and I will make sure that everything can be seen. So, these we got while living in East Troy. You can see the address there. These were from an open records request. I believe we paid $5 for these reports. So this is public information. Just want to make that clear. So this one was reported on April 14th of 2022. You can see our legal name near the bottom there. We scroll right in the middle there. Our legal name, our address at the time, our other information, the officer's name, that was too far. Okay, that should be good. This is the call summary. I will read it out loud. Met with Kira at her residence. Reference fake TikTok accounts she believes are coming from her ex-girlfriend Patterson, who resides in Utah. Kira showed me a screenshot of a TikTok account with the name Lone Wolf. I asked Kira how she knows this is Patterson, and she advised she didn't think it was Patterson personally, but said Patterson has a friend with a TikTok name of Snow Wolf, which is actually incorrect. It's Storm Wolf. And found it to be suspicious. I advised Kira I would document the incident, but at this time did not have enough evidence to prove Patterson was behind the fake account. I brainstormed with Kira and found we were able to make her accounts private, therefore stopping any unwanted messages unless she accepts a friend request. Which, that didn't help much. That didn't help much. But we'll go into that in another stream. So that was the first one. That was April, what was it? April 14th of 2022. Scrolling down to this next one. This was 4 days later, April 18th of 2022. And the dates are important because Patterson has claimed that we were spamming the police with calls. So this is important, so I want you to pay attention to the dates, and you'll notice that they are fairly close together at the beginning, but then as we give up because nothing was being done, we called less and less. Okay, is all of this on screen? Yes, it is. Call summary. Spoke with Kira about blocking Patterson on social media and staying off of it. She didn't like my response and asked to speak with a supervisor. I made Deputy Chief DeMio aware, and he advised he would call her. I believe he did. Okay, this next one was actually 4 months later. So already starting to see us giving up. So this was August 21st of 2022. You can see that something has been whited out, which would be the address because the court did seal that. So there is that. That should make some people happy. But it has our information. It has Patterson's information. And this was one of the decent officers that we got on the case. So, call summary. I spoke with Kira at RPD with respect to threat from a person who she has a restraining order against in Utah, who is still in Utah. Kira said that this person made up an account in someone else's name, and Kira accepted the messages via social media by friending this person. That is true. Remember when I said that it did not help much to make our accounts private? This is why. Yep, I'm done with you. Goodbye. I did warn you. I don't put up with bullshit. Officer Heading had worked on this case and has had contact with Kira as well. I documented the messages and am forwarding them on to Officer Heading. I also sent a text to the person who had supposedly sent the threats, letting them know that things were documented as well as telling them to stop. Okay, this was... Oh, this was the next day. I did warn them. I called them out by username, and I directly warned them. They cannot say that I did not warn them. Oh, this is one of the interesting ones. So this was, the last one was August 21st, 2022. This was August 22nd, 2022. Oh, Ghostivity came back. And I warned them that I don't put up with bullshit. And that I'm not as nice as Echo. And they decided to test me. And found out that I'm not exaggerating when I say that I don't put up with bullshit. If they decide to send an unban request, do me a favor and screenshot it so that Echo can have something to laugh at later. Okay. Thank you. So... Can I move? I shouldn't move the chat box. Can I edit the chat box? Maybe I can just... I wish it would just... not. What if I... Why can't I make it just show less messages? I think I'll have to do it like that. At least for now. But you'll see that Patterson's name is here. Name activity. This is one of the interesting ones. Name activity says arrested prosecutor review. This is not saying that they were arrested before anyone tries to twist my words. This is saying that there was a review to see if they could be arrested. Here are the charges. I scrolled too far. I still scrolled too far. This is irritating. So you can see charges under Patterson's name. I think these might be statutes. You can look them up yourself. I don't know anything about law. But the first one is for violate/harassment restraining order, and the second one is for harassment conduct or acts. So charges were sent up. Okay. On Monday, August 23rd, 2022, at approximately 0726 hours, I, Chief Jeremy Swindrowski of the Village of East Troy Police Department, met with a female who verbally identified herself as Kira Marie Granatella, F/W 0325-2000. Kira advised yesterday she stopped in to speak with Officer Stricker regarding threatening messages she received from Kyoko Patterson, whom she has a restraining order filed against. It should be noted Kyoko lives in Utah and their relationship has only been through social media and the internet. I checked CCAP and found temporary restraining order, also known as TRO, was served on Kyoko on December 6th, 2021, with full injunction granted on December 17th, 2021. It appears in April 2022, Kyoko filed a request of dismissal with evidence. There is a hearing in Walworth County in September regarding this request. Kira advised Officer Stricker received copies of threatening messages and attempted contact and left message with Kyoko advising her to stop all communications. Copies of these messages are attached to this incident, which we did not get any of the copies, we just got the police reports. Kira advised, let me see, yeah, okay. It'll be fine. That helps a little bit. Kira advised last night she found information on change.org that Kyoko recently posted information about her. Kira shared this information with me. It is a petition started by Kyoko in regards to the harassment and abuse that she is claiming she has endured from Kira. In this petition is a link to a Google document of all Kyoko's evidence she has compiled in the last year. I clicked on the link and it was a document over 100 pages that entails numerous communications between Kira and Kyoko and other information. I printed out a copy of this document and it is attached to this incident. Kyoko is asking people to sign the petition so she can start a donation pool to help her fight this restraining order. I attempted contact with Kyoko with no response. I will be referring charges on Kyoko Patterson to the Walworth County District Attorney Office for opinion on harassment and violation of restraining order. That was one of the more interesting reports. Okay, let me make sure I'm not scrolling too far. Okay, this was October 16th of 2022. I spoke with Kira and obtained the information that she had on her phone via screenshots and links to social media accounts. I documented and downloaded everything that Kira had given me. She is fairly certain that a person from Utah who she has filed a harassment complaint against is still behind the scenes rustling feathers. All of that information was forwarded on to Officer Heading as Kira had requested that the forwarded social media accounts were traced to see who the user is/was. Yeah, that is that one. There's nothing in this one. You can pause to read if you would like to, but there is nothing. Echo, I got it. Look a little bit more. Okay. But this is the continuation of that one. So this was January. Was it? The previous one with nothing on it was January 25th of 2023. This one has dates in it. Initial report. On Wednesday, February 1st, 2023, Officer Heading took a report of a restraining order violation. On Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, I, Officer Sean Cattini of the Village of East Troy, took over this case for further investigation. Contact with Kira Granatella. Let me scroll down a little bit. At approximately 5:48 p.m., I contacted the complainant, Kira Granatella, W/F0325-2000, and asked her to explain her initial complaint. Granatella stated that her ex-girlfriend, Kyoko Patterson, was harassing and stalking her online. Granatella also stated that she had a restraining order against Patterson and that Patterson had been in frequent violation of it. Granatella provided me with a Google Drive link to a large amount of images and videos that she stated were evidence of Patterson's violations. Granatella stated that she filed for a restraining order against Patterson in December of 2021. Granatella advised me that she had only dated Patterson from April 2021 to September 2021 and stated that their relationship had strictly been through electronic communication. Granatella stated that since she was granted the restraining order, she has received death threats from who she believed to be Patterson from online throwaway accounts. In the restraining order, Patterson was forbidden from communicating with Granatella, as well as doxing. I asked how Granatella knew the death threats came from Patterson. Granatella stated she could not confirm if they came from Patterson, but believed they were because of how they were written. Granatella also advised me that Patterson created a Change.org petition to dismiss the restraining order. In the petition, Patterson supposedly posted all of Granatella's personal contact information, including her phone number and address. Okay. I scrolled a bit too far. Review of Google Drive contents. In the Google Drive, I located several images that I believe to be screenshots of Change.org, dated February in the screenshots. I observed the poster, who identified as Kyoko Patterson, post Granicel's address, personal email, as well as the Walworth County court case number for the restraining order. Yeah. Officer actions. Upon my return to the office, I will be contacting the Walworth County District Attorney's Office regarding how to proceed further with this investigation. And then a supplemental report. The date is listed as May 6th, 2023. Case